listening to the Wandcast, the chapter-by-chapter reread of the Harry Potter series with a very fashionable craft brew on the side. I am Aaron, and I am here with my two favorite Hufflepuffs, Jade and Nate.
Hello.
Hi.
Are you okay?
I'm good.
Are you ready to get into this episode?
100%.
Oh, well, that's good, because on this episode, we are shape-shifting our way into Chapter 7 of Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, the Boggart in the Wardrobe.
How many chapters are there in this book?
22. It's 22. It's 22. I said that with confidence. Why don't you trust me? Why?
Hey, I fully believe that you had that knowledge in your brain.
He counted it in his mind palace and came back to you with accurate results.
But each chapter is a room. That's why it took a couple seconds.
He had to run.
I was running down the halls, counting the rooms I have.
Is that why you were suddenly out of breath when you answered?
That's why it was echoey. That's why it was long.
I think it was something like 22. What? What just happened?
Yeah, that's all.
Look, I'm going to be honest. This time was wholly unintentional on fucking up your intro. So my bad.
Here's the thing. I'm trying to prolong starting the chapter.
Yeah, I picked up on that.
The chapter literally starts off with the word Malfoy. I just don't really like it. But I suppose you got to rip the Band-Aid off, right?
You know, I found out you can actually use some Vaseline for some Band-Aids, and it'll make it easier. You don't gotta rip it off. But continue.
And let's be honest, it was a paper cut anyway.
No, it was a pretty serious gash.
But they have
On
magic,
Malfoy.
and it's healed immediately, so
Yeah.
anybody allowing him to baby it is a bullshit. Anyways, continue.
Well, look, Malfoy shows up halfway through potions with his arm fully bandaged and in a sling, even though, yeah, we for sure know that Madame Pomfrey, she regrew an entire arm's worth of bones last year in 24 hours.
Right.
Yeah,
12
in
hours?
a matter of a day.
Yeah, and Harry
Yeah.
didn't have any lasting pain or physical therapy or anything that we know of that he had to deal with. So,
Well, he had physical pain during the growth process.
yeah, but like once he's healed, maybe a scar? Probably not even a scar.
No, I don't even think they mentioned a scar. I think it's just another example that when men get sick, they tend to over-exaggerate just how bad it really is.
And everybody around them just allows this to happen.
Draco is just man sick. That's all. You heard him. He said he was dead. I mean, he's doing pretty good for being dead. Let's be honest. Like, he's struggling. He's trooping through
I'm
this.
just saying.
I mean, him walking around after dying is doing a lot better than many other people that have died. So,
Yeah,
I
not
mean,
a lot of them walk.
And I get Snape's his buddy, so I understand what happens here. But if he pulls this shit in McGonagall's class and she doesn't call him out, I would be very confused, because if I were McGonagall, I'd be like, no, absolutely not.
Harry and Ron even look at each other, because when Draco walks in halfway through, Snape just says, settle down. And Harry specifically says, there is no way if Harry walked in halfway through potions, Snape's response would not be, settle down. It would be, you lose 10 points per minute that you were late.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Immediately going to draw attention to Harry
absolutely.
and how he's fucking up.
And that's the worst part. McGonagall probably wouldn't take points away. She would probably just say, get in here. You have extra homework. Snape is the vindictive asshole that's like, oh, you had to go poop? You're 3 minutes late? 30 points from Gryffindor.
That's going to cost you, Papa.
I liked that. What I don't like is that Malfoy comes into the room and sits right between, apparently, or maybe just across the table from, but he sits at the same table as Harry and Ron, and he is really playing up this injury because he mentions to Professor Snape that he can't do all of the cutting necessary to prepare his potion.
Yeah. Oh, my arm. I can't lift this incredibly heavy knife. And you're like, you have two hands, and that is a one-handed thing, my man.
I think we're getting close to hearing enough voices from Nate that he could just do a one-man play.
I was just having this thought a moment ago.
I can't. The one that
I'm not gonna
Malfoy
lie.
that just happened was terrible. I can't. I got to work on that.
Well, that's the thing. Malfoy's doesn't have to be good, because if it's bad, people won't like it, and they're not supposed to like Malfoy.
I keep trying to think about this situation because, to a point, if somebody can't use their arm and they need help, I feel like a lot of us have been in the situation where you have to help somebody that you don't like because you are in a position where you can.
Yeah.
Malfoy has friends in this class, multiple friends in this class.
Yeah, it's Gryffindor and Slytherin together. He has a decent number of his also third-year Slytherins in this class.
He's got backup.
Including Crabbe and Goyle.
And the teachers likes him more than he likes Harry. So, like, he's got an in there.
And I totally understand. The way this works is Snape hates Harry, so this is just how it's going to work. He's going to punish them. Draco sat right next to them. That's how it works. But in a real-life scenario, if a teacher is asking you to do something for somebody just to poke you, no! If there was nobody else in the class that could help Malfoy, then it would not be a questionable thing.
Oh, yeah.
There are multiple people who could and would.
Yeah.
So it's a dick
Jade,
thing.
I think you're starting to pick up on the fact that Snape and Malfoy aren't good people.
No, I know that. And I understood that. I'm just like, this is an exercise in stupidity that I'm just doing right now.
I disagree, because to emphasize just how silly this is, I think sometimes is important, because you're just like, Snape's a bad guy. No, Snape's a fucking bad guy.
Yeah.
Look how dumb this shit is that he is doing to 13-year-old children from a place of power.
Yeah.
Yes, I have no problem with this being pointed out every time.
Yeah.
And on top of that, Snape knows that, like we said, Malfoy is probably not in pain. Most likely, totally fucking fine.
100%. Yeah, that's the thing is, I thought what you were going to point out was if you have to do a physically demanding thing, potions, cutting, measuring, scooping, stirring, and you are physically not able to, usually it means you don't have to do it. But Malfoy doesn't have a note from Madame Pomfrey saying you don't have to do this stuff because your arm is broken. Because his arm is not broken, it's fine. Guess who doesn't give a shit about that? Snape. Because he knows that this can fuck Harry and Ron over.
He's got backup, because fuck the Gryffindors.
Yeah. They are truly terrible people, and I have no problems pointing that out time and time again.
I also just think it's funny that he's walking around in a sling, and everybody, like, this is a magical world. They can solve, like, pretty much anything, except unless it's, like, a curse. Or if you were born with it. So, like, they can't fix you if you need glasses, but they could fix it if you had your eye stabbed.
Yeah.
I don't know.
In theory. In theory. They can't heal pre-existing conditions.
Right. Like my scoliosis would still be scoliosis.
Yeah.
But if you had broken your back, they could theoretically fix that.
They can return it to where it was.
Yeah.
They can never completely fix it. Although, next book, we find out that that's kind of not true. But the other thing that I wanted to bring up quick was Snape also clarifies that Ron has to cut up these roots for Malfoy. And Ron, surprisingly, never learned the you cut it, I choose which one method, which is surprising considering his older brother situation. Like, Ron, if you are told you have to cut up something for someone else, do it nice.
Oh, yeah.
You have to do it nice. If you cut something in half, you can't cut it in 3/4 and claim the bigger piece. Not how it works.
Yeah.
You would think being the youngest brother, he would have learned that.
But again, this is where, as a child, when I read this, I went, "Oh, that was an asshole move on their part to do that."
Yeah.
But as an adult reading it, I'm like, I mean, you should have cut his shit nice.
Come on, Ron.
Because
could have avoided this.
Yeah.
Could have avoided this. Well, it continues, salt in the wound. Malfoy goads them about Hagrid while they're doing all this stuff for him. And he apparently lets these guys know that Lucius went full Karen to the school governors.
Yeah, he went all the way to the top.
Yeah.
The people in charge of the people in charge.
Yes.
Yeah, he went to the Ministry of Magic.
Well, that's the thing. Like 3 months ago-ish, Lucius Malfoy was one of the governors, and he got kicked out at the end of the last book.
Why?
Now, I realize the man has money, but yeah, shouldn't his complaints not be priority at this point?
Listen, this is the 80s, and the man has money. He got a little mark on his record, right? But do we really, really punish white men with money?
Well, I was going to say, do we...
in any way, or do we keep listening to them at this point in time?
Do we punish men with that gorgeous of hair? I think that's what the
cane is
criteria
actually,
is.
I think, what sets him apart.
Yeah, the cane's pretty sexy.
I vote no about the hair thing, but I don't have a cane, so I'm willing to be swayed on that issue.
I'm glad we can be open-minded about this.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Now, look, all of this kerfuffle is that they are making shrinking potions. That's what all the roots are for. That's what all the
Shrinking
stuff is for.
solution.
And I don't quite understand. And apparently, I'm similar to Neville because he's in the corner struggling. Shrinking to me is a size thing. And Snape here says that a shrinking solution, if placed on Neville's toad, will shrink it down into a tadpole. Isn't that a de-aging solution then?
I mean, yeah.
Shrinking just means it gets a smaller toad.
So if it goes off on a person
They would turn
correctly,
into
they
an
would be a
infant?
baby as opposed to just a miniature version, right?
I don't know how this doesn't make sense to me. Maybe in the UK,
No.
it all makes sense.
Did he say tadpole or did he say size of a tadpole?
Nope, he specifically says into a tadpole.
Well, then
I don't think this is a UK thing. I think this is a J.K. Rowling.
Yeah, I feel like there's just something going on here, but I
think she was trying to be
like
cute and be like, he made him smaller, which would make him a tadpole because that's cute, right? But that would de-age.
That's called immortality.
Yeah.
And
in a bottle.
Hell yeah. And you guys just did it first day, first class. Bam.
In a book or so, we deal with forward aging and how that's a whole thing.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
So, like, I don't know. Yeah.
The last thing I just said, this is not first day, first class. What the fuck am I talking about? Duh, we've been past this already. Or is it? Or is it not? Or is it? Or is it not?
Is this their first potions class?
What I just said makes sense way later in the book.
Fuck you.
Wow.
Well, while at some point later, okay, they are waiting for their potions to rest, to cure,
to shrink.
They're letting them, maybe to shrink. They're trying to reduce them.
It is just, wait, real quick. It is just interesting that the thing that they're making this potion in that does not get smaller.
Cauldrons are magically protected.
Okay.
That's why cauldrons.
Easy answer. Because magic.
Because magic. Duh.
Okay.
Or maybe it only works on live organisms, in which case they should all be being way more careful.
It's a living
than what
that's true.
What we're being told.
Well, then I was out of line because magic.
Maybe
I apologize and we can continue.
I don't know.
Maybe this podcast episode is just that snippet right there.
Maybe this was a book written for children and she didn't think too far into the magical thoughts.
Yeah, Nate. Anyway, in class, as they were waiting for their solutions, talk, of course, gets to Sirius Black. Seamus mentions...
It's serious.
It's a very serious, yes. Seamus mentions that he has been seen not too far from Hogwarts. And then, of course, Malfoy, this is ammunition for him to go to Harry, saying that he's surprised that Harry doesn't want to go take out revenge on Black.
You have talked enough shit today, Malfoy. I think you can just give it a fucking rest at this point. Like, no,
wait.
I'm not going to go out looking for a serial killer because that would be dumb and I will be killed. No, not even just a random serial killer. A killer who is specifically looking for me.
Well, he is a serial killer, but he's also looking for you.
He's also looking specifically for me.
It's the best of both worlds.
So I don't want to go seek that out as Harry. So Malfoy being like, you should get revenge and go like, fuck you. No, that's dumb.
Yeah.
Only a dumb person would suggest that, Malfoy.
Here's the thing. Malfoy doesn't normally lie. He just says mean things.
Malfoy, I have way more dangerous and cool things going on in my life. I don't need to be chasing after some serial killer. If you think that's cool, then I guess you could go do something like that. But I have way too much going on to even be concerned about that.
Are you saying Harry needs to Silicon Valley girl Malfoy?
Yeah.
I am way too busy dealing with shit you don't even understand right now, Malfoy. Okay.
Did you also work in that in
my
some
boyfriend
universe?
is in college and he has a car.
Did you somehow work in that his middle name is Danger?
Yeah.
Was that part of it?
Yeah.
Harry Danger Potter?
Yeah. And he's got a tattoo on his chest. That's canon from later.
Well, look, we make it towards the end of class, and it is test time. They drop some drops from a dropper onto Trevor the Toad, and then he quote-unquote shrank into Trevor the Tadpole. Snape de-shrank Trevor, and then shrank 5 points from Gryffindor because Hermione helped
fucker.
Neville. Yeah.
I see what you've done there. No, but if he shrank it into a tadpole and then he unshrank it, now they just have a giant tadpole, right?
That would
so Trevor is not still correct.
That would be correct.
I'm just saying, Trevor is getting lost all the time.
Yes.
And I don't understand how nobody wasn't like, Neville, lose your fucking toad right now.
Yeah, no
Seriously.
shit.
Also, we've all decided Trevor is actually a man. And so I feel like we should just whisper at him like, hey, hop on out of here, bud.
What?
I'm pretty sure, didn't we discuss this? Maybe it was not on the podcast.
You guys did not see this, but Heron's arm had been up after Jade started this little segue. He called for silence just so he could ask what.
Is this not a theory that we've shared on the podcast? I thought we have.
I was just going to try to bring something up I thought was kind of clever.
I vaguely remember.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Talking about this before, yeah.
But maybe it's.
I don't think I was a part of this conversation.
Maybe it hasn't been on the podcast because parts of these theories we haven't fully uncovered in the book yet. So maybe we'll just put a pin in it for now.
I think maybe we just found a part of the next side quest to talk about. Trevor the man? Question mark. All right. Hey, look, I'm all for it. But it sounds like we're digressing.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he's fine at the end of this class, right? He's fine.
Yes.
He's the toad again.
Yes, he fully de-shrinks. After class, Ron starts berating Hermione about like, hey, why did you help Neville? Like, you knew this was going to happen. He turns, Hermione's gone. And then all of a sudden she turns the corner going up the staircase. And it's like, Hermione, where did you go to?
I actually have a theory about this. And I believe that Hermione may very well be Batman.
Oh. Really?
He does that all the time.
True.
Jim Gordon on the roof.
So you're saying Hermione is able to, as soon as you stop looking at her, she is able to disappear, basically.
She can, ninja poof ball, and she can just disappear.
I am fascinated by this idea. I think I would like to talk about it. Maybe over a beer. You guys want to do a beer break and get into this real quick?
I mean, it's going to be a few. And I got to get all the yarn, and I do have some poster boards. But yeah, we can bang this out right now.
So, am I understanding then that Hermione is to the Joker as the Joker is to Batman?
I had to think about it. Yeah. Yep. Same threat level. Exactly the same.
But like Joker is he's the hero, right? So Hermione is technically not the hero.
Yeah, she's anti-fun. She studies all the time.
Right. So who's the Joker then? Who is the actual hero?
Look, Jade.
Hey, Nate, what'd you grab for us to drink?
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
You sound nervous. Is everything all right?
Okay. What's the problem?
No, I think you do need a beer, in fact. Here.
No, everything's okay.
Take this. This is a hazelnut brown nectar from Rogue Brewing. This is from the hazelnut capital of the United States, actually. So you know this is some high quality shit. This nutty twist on a European brown ale was originally crafted by Rogue Brewmaster John Mayer's good friend and avid homebrewer, Chris Studock.
Not the same John Mayer.
Not
it's spelled
yes.
M-A-I-E-R, not M-A-Y-E-R.
But everybody reading that, including myself, just went, oh, John Mayer. Oh, I've heard that name before. Hazelnut brown nectar offers a hazelnut aroma, which rich, nutty flavor and a smooth, malty finish. It's available year-round. Thank fuck. Well, no, actually, that may not be true. I have not tried it yet.
Oh, we didn't do a sniff test.
The smell, definitely hazelnut aroma.
Oh, yeah, I got hazelnut.
I love hazelnut.
Alrighty, down the hatch. Oh, I am immediately getting nutty. I like this.
I like that a lot.
I think it's the malt. I think it's the nutty malt.
That's what it is. You can taste the hazelnut, which I'm getting a face from Jade, and I think I know what the face is about. You can taste the hazelnut. but the toffee is very sweet and the malt is like medium thick. So it's like you get all of that right on the top. There is a bit of a, I don't know if it's almost like a sour.
There is a little bitter at the end. Jade, there's no way that you're gonna rate the 2017 Best of USA American Brown Ale from the World Beer Awards winner, or getting silver in the Brussels Beer Challenge Award, or in 2018 the Best of the Northwest.
Easy, this is not a commercial.
This is an award winner.
Yeah.
Do you want to go first?
I'm just gonna put it out there and say everybody's palate is different. Mine is just better than other people's, and so which is to say different, right? Different, better, same thing. Personally, would not have won those awards from me.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
What would you rate this beer?
Out of
It's gonna be mean.
Hey, give us your honest opinion. That's all we can ask for.
Out of 10 nuts.
Or maybe 5 sets of 2 nuts.
Nope. No, we're talking, Nate, we're talking about nuttin'.
I'm talking like a 1 or a 2.
Wow.
Whoa.
Wow.
A 1 or a 2?
Wow.
I do not like this flavor.
A 1 or a 2?
I don't like this flavor to the point that if this was in my fridge, I probably wouldn't drink it.
You would never drink this. You would just go, I don't have beer.
I'd have to go get
and
a
I
beer.
go, Jade, there's 5 cans. And you go, that's no beer of mine.
Yeah.
I don't recognize that. Holy shit.
Well,
oh my goodness. Nate, what are you rating it? How many nuts are you giving this?
I went first last time. What are you rating this thing? I'm curious to know.
19.
19.
To make up for Jade's 1. That's what I'm rating this. This is a 9.5.
Are you going 9.5?
It has to be based on your own opinion. You can't be based on my opinion.
No, this is a 9.5.
Wow. I think
I'm gonna drink yours. You don't get to even fight through it. Give me it. This beer deserves to be appreciated.
Honestly, I don't really mind. Take it.
I'd probably give this one an 8 as well. The hazelnut flavor definitely comes through. Again, I think what got you was the bitter end. You do not like anything strongly bitter in your beer. And if it's in there, you're going to give it a low mark. So we're going to close this beer break out with one way above 10, all the way up at a 19, and one other review calling this one Bad Juice.
This is why.
Let us know what you guys think by sending an email to podcastatt@gmail.com. If you do get your hands on this, I want to know what you think.
I can't stand you right now, Jade. So let's get back into the chat. And we get to come back to the first Defense Against the Dark Arts session of the school year.
Dada!
Which is a little confusing to me because it's on a Thursday.
It's a dada class.
So they went 3 days without having one session of one of the classes?
I think that they have one class per week, maybe.
I'm so confused on how this works.
But I think that each class is maybe more than an hour.
Or maybe the first week is different than the rest of the school year.
I'm just wondering if they have Monday morning, Gryffindors, you do these 3 classes. Tuesday morning, you do these 3. You have 7 different, I think they only have 6 classes. So
that's what I mean. The scheduling doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't.
Because I know at one point they say double potions, and then they say the class is an hour and a half long.
Maybe they didn't start till Tuesday. Maybe their first day of classes wasn't.
Jade,
was
don't
Tuesday.
you know that September 1st is always on a Monday?
September 1st might have been.
Every year it's on a month. That's how the books work.
That can't be.
In the books, September 1st is always a Monday.
Do they always start school
every
on a
year?
Monday?
Yes.
Or do they
on September 1st specifically on a Monday?
Does it say Monday?
Yes.
That's confusing.
Every class starts on a Monday and it starts on September 1st.
How do you know that?
The books don't make fucking sense.
Do you have? I want.
That's
proof.
in the books. I will
proof.
find it.
I think the obvious answer here is that Snape just requested that everybody kindly fuck off for the first 3 days of school, and
Snape doesn't do classes till
class
Thursday.
does not start until Thursday.
This is
okay.
Lupin. Snape did.
No, I know. I think what he's saying maybe
too.
is it might just be something where it's no, I'm not doing anything till
Defense
Wednesday
Against
at
the Dark Arts and
earliest.
Potions, because he wanted that gig, so he kind of got those in the same schedule loop.
Well, we had to have skipped a couple days though. Maybe they started classes on Wednesdays though. They have taken divination.
Mm-hmm.
They've taken transfiguration.
Mm-hmm.
They've taken magical creatures.
Uh-huh.
Now they've done potions. and Dada.
We haven't heard about charms.
We haven't heard about charms. We haven't heard about herbology.
Yeah, hey, look, I'm saying it might be out there. I'm just saying as of right now, it's a little confusing. Anyway, our first defense against the dark arts lesson is a practical one, as Lupin tells them right away, put your books away.
So they're actually going to learn how to do stuff.
Yeah, get them wands out. Harry thinks that other than the one lesson last year where Lockhart released a bunch of pixies into the room and then left the Harry, Ron, and Hermione to clean up, this is their first ever practical defense against the dark arts lesson in his Hogwarts career. We're in year 3.
That's because they've had shitty teachers, though.
Yeah.
The first teacher was too scared.
Yeah, that's true.
The second teacher was too full of himself.
Yeah. Well, he was fake.
Yeah.
He didn't know how to do any of it.
Right.
They immediately just thought, oh, we're taking notes today. Like they did not, where it's like, nah, defense, get your fucking wands out.
Oh, yeah.
This is how we do this.
Like, we don't actually do anything in this class.
Funny you should say that they don't do defense against the dark arts in that class, because Lupin takes them out of the classroom. They head down.
Never once happened down there where it's supposed to.
Yeah, they head down to the teacher's lounge. I don't think they call it a teacher's lounge. I think they call it something else. But they run into Peeves, and Peeves is shoving gum into Filch's broom closet keyhole. And Lupin teaches them what he says is a very useful spell. And he wuzzies the gum out of the keyhole.
Watusi.
Into Peeves' left nostril.
No, Watusi is something completely different.
It is.
Whoops. Yeah, Wati-wasi?
Wuzzy.
Yeah, I think it's Wadi-wasi is how it
Wadi-wasi?
Yeah, but he says it's like a very useful skill. It's a useful life skill that he's teaching these children. And I don't understand what that skill is, and we never see this spell used again.
Yeah.
So I think he's full of shit.
Yes, it is Wadi-wasi. Waddiwasi.
Which wad makes me think it's something like a
wad,
like related to a gum wad.
Yeah, but that's the thing. He never explains what it does.
Well, well, with the force of a bullet, the wad of chewing gum shoots out of the keyhole and straight into Peeves' left nostril.
But even though he never really explains what it does after watching a display like that, I'm paying attention at this point.
Oh,
yeah, but I just want to know the mechanics of it. Like, is this just a strictly chewing gum related spell?
Oh, yeah. It's just anything that's a wad. It's interesting.
I know this is Muggle territory, but if you do this to the bolts that hold the wheels on your car, is it just going to come shooting straight out, or will that bolt just unscrew the way it's propped, or is it going to rip the threads out of the fucking? Like, you need to know.
Or will the threads keep it locked in?
Will it just not be able to come out?
Yeah, it'll try to come straight out and then it can't. I don't know. Lupin says it's a very useful spell. So I'm sure we will find out loads more examples of how to use this spell in the books.
I just take it as an open invitation to just try it on stuff and see what happens.
Oh, 100%.
To a bunch of teenagers?
As soon as this class is done, I am in the corridors pointing and trying to shoot at everything. Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Can't say that 5 times fast. I just did it twice and it's not.
You did great. Well, they head into the teacher's room and Snape is in there. And he makes sure Lupin is aware of Neville's skills, or lack thereof. And
see? Talking shit between the teachers. I told you. That's why
they do it.
Oh, yeah.
Spoiler. He sucks.
Well, Lupin defends Neville and says that actually, I was hoping that Neville would assist me in this lesson that we're going to do. And so Snape, realizing that Neville is going to be casting spells near him, leaves. And honestly, at this point, I'm not sure I fault him that much.
This scene is not for me.
Yeah. Well, we learn that there is a boggart. There is a
boggart.
Boggart.
That's what they call him down south.
Got them there boggart?
Damn hell, you got a boggart, you say?
You got one of them there boggarts in that wardrobe? No, we get the title of the book. It's a boggart in a wardrobe.
Oh, he said the thing.
He said that thing.
Oh, the title of the chapter, not the book.
That was, yes.
Okay.
Now, can you describe for me what this boggart looks like?
No, it is a shapeshifter.
But what does it look like?
It looks like whatever your worst fear is.
So kind of like, never mind.
Hold on.
I was going to take a low shot.
I want the two of you to put a pin in that idea.
In this idea?
The boggart?
That you can't know what a boggart looks like.
Okay.
Okay.
Because nobody's ever seen it, right?
Mhm.
I can't talk about it right now. The current situation is not what it will be when I present this theory.
Okay.
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 But it's about boggarts and that specific idea.
Okay.
That you can't know what they look like.
Right, because no one's ever
Because
seen
they
them.
shapeshift and then
Right.
Okay. Interesting.
Pin till when?
We could theoretically talk about it in the next book,
Okay,
but
so
definitely in book 5.
Oh, okay.
Much
okay,
later.
Okay.
then. Okay. Long pin.
Okay.
Long pin.
Long pin. One long pin in a boggart. Well, what I can tell you now about boggarts is they are dealt with best in groups
Yes.
because the boggart will not know which fear to target. Lupin once saw a boggart attempt to turn into a headless corpse and a flesh-eating slug at the same time, and that was not remotely frightening.
headless
Thank
corpse.
you.
I like it's concerning.
Half undead worm corpse thing.
Maybe if you're
Don't
like,
care
if
for
it
it.
can't see me, it can't chase me. So headless
Zombie?
really worked for you, and maybe that in that specific case, but we don't know that. Slugs or like maggots in general, not
Yeah.
a fan of. So
I think the only way is if it was just like the butt of a slug. Like, it's just gross then.
just
It's
nasty.
just the butt of a slug with nothing on the top of it.
Because I was going to say, if this is like a fusing scenario, that is a zombie slug human hybrid, and that's terrifying.
No, I think it's a headless flesh-eating slug, which means it's just the butt of a slug.
Yeah, so it's, that would not be terrifying at all.
Now, it still
Oh,
might be
okay.
giant. It would be gross,
Yeah.
but not terrifying inherently.
Doesn't have the sharp part that kills you.
Yeah.
It doesn't
So,
move anymore.
Yeah.
Well, that would make the next part of how to deal with a boggart easy, because you can say the spell Ridikulus, and it will turn into a funny version of what you fear.
I've always had an issue with this spell because I'm like,
Oh?
it's obviously the word ridiculous,
No.
but it's not.
Ridiculous.
It's
Ridiculous.
the word ridicule
Yeah.
with a spell's ending.
Yeah, it's Latin ridicule.
When we were listening to it today, it finally clicked for me that he's not saying it's ridiculous, because obviously the point is to make you laugh at it, right?
Yeah.
If it's not scary, it loses its power, and you can kind of like, that's how you defeat the thing. Confuse it, chuckle at
Yeah.
it goes away. But he's not saying it's ridiculous because you're making the thing ridiculous. You're saying ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ridiculous, that's what it is. Because you're ridiculing the thing. It's the equivalent of Cersei walking down the street in Game of Thrones and everybody's going, shame, shame. That's what you're doing to the boggart. You're just being like, ridicule, and that defeats it from shame.
I wanted to ask our listeners
Oh.
what they felt. I've always thought it was ridiculous. Maybe with a little bit of flair on there, like ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
Like maybe you don't pronounce all the letters, like
I kind of like that, actually.
ridiculous or ridiculous. You know, maybe you just say it's not quite ridiculous, but it's
It's
ridiculous.
really just where you put the
Yeah.
emphasis of the word, because that's all I'm saying, too. It's just ridiculous.
The other thing is these spells do allow for accents, so it might sound.
Do they?
Yeah.
Because I
Seamus-
remember
Seamus has an accent. He succeeds at Hogwarts.
Yeah, and in the first movie, he blows shit up and all the time. And
That's true.
also, Hermione gives a whole bunch of shit to Ron for his pronunciation.
Oh, I know.
I mean, it is kind of a
And-
big deal.
Leviosa, not Leviosa.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. So
And-
if it's supposed to be
yeah.
like ridiculous and you're like ridiculous or whatever, and it just doesn't come out right, then
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Bitch.
I think it probably comes down to like the magic being not something that you just create out of the tip of your wand,
Ridiculous.
but it's like the magic world realizes what you're trying to do. So just get it close enough.
And that's
in your
question.
There's
your
a whole
ex,
thing
it's
with
like
the charms.
context.
He says that's how some dude ended up with a buffalo on his chest.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the thing. There's got to be a gauge on how close is close enough. But if you need, I also think if you need someone to say it a very specific way, that Lupin would have already taken the time to explain that. Because if you would tell a bunch of 13-year-old boys that say, "Look, it's ridiculous," if you say ridiculous, your dick's gonna disappear because it will reduce your dick to a humorous size. They're gonna fucking pay attention to that, and guess they're never gonna get that spell wrong ever.
I mean, you're not wrong.
If you were somehow scared of large dicks and then you said ridiculous and made the said dick smaller and laughed at it, that would help defeat a boggart. Because actually, laughter is what defeats a boggart.
So you just give him a tiny little dick,
not the spell.
There's so much dick talk here. I appreciate this a whole lot.
Well, speaking of dick talk, do you guys know what Neville's worst fear is?
Giant dicks?
No, Snape. Well, I'm sorry.
Close.
Yes, I'm sorry.
That's right.
Yes, Cerberus Snape. What you said is correct.
Cerberus?
Severus. Hagrid says it differently than the rest of the people.
I have literally never heard anyone pronounce. I've heard a lot
Cerberus?
I've heard a lot of pronunciations for a lot of things in this book. I've never heard anyone say Cerberus.
I think it's just a mix between Cerberus, the three-headed dog.
That's fluffy.
I've always heard Severus.
It's fluffy to you and me and everybody in the know.
Maybe
that's who it is, but it's Severus and Cerberus.
Maybe this is where pre-movie pronunciation just came out. That before the movies came out, I didn't know how the fuck to pronounce the name. Maybe I wonder if in my head I said Cerberus. I don't know. I don't know.
Does Jim Dale say Severus?
Oh fuck yeah! There's probably I listen to audiobooks. We're gonna have to dig into this.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he says Severus, but we can look
right now. The reason that Lupin asks this is he is going to have Neville help him, and they are going to come up with a plan on how to defeat this boggart, and it involves Professor Snape. I don't know. I'm scared to say his first name. And it involves his grandmother's fashion.
Severus and Neville's grandma?
If that's what you said, yeah.
Bow chicka wow.
Oh.
Professor Snape.
Mrs. Longbottom.
Oh, no. Oh, no. No. Oh, actually.
Very nice to
okay.
meet
yes.
you.
No, I take everything back. I need to take a break. I am not ready. I am not ready to get into this right now. I need to take a break and mentally prepare for you saying that phrase any more this episode. So we're going to take a quick break and we will be back after this.
Hello, Aaron.
No.
Hello, listener, and welcome back, especially to you, Mrs. Longbottom.
I appreciate you, though.
You were giddy with joy while I said that.
That's what I appreciate about you, Nate.
I think that's about the best thing I've seen all year.
That's for sure the best thing I've seen all year.
So Nate's next Christmas or next Halloween costume is...
Oh, you're sexy Snape.
Yes.
Sexy Snape.
That means you have to be Mrs. Longbottom, though.
Yeah, no. He's going to wear Mrs. Longbottom's outfit, and I'll just be wearing, like...
And he's looking in a mirror.
Yeah.
You're a mirror.
Yeah.
And it's him dressed as Grandma Longbottom doing that voice, looking at you, the mirror.
Yeah. Maybe I just have like a night. maybe I'm just wearing a nightgown because you stole my dress.
It's just getting weirder and weirder.
Yeah, but you have to do it now.
Yes, I'm a Slytherin.
Thought you were gonna say slut.
That's what you were gonna say too.
I'm a
tenured teacher at this school. And a bit of a slut.
Well, all of that was a perfect audio representation of what we're about to discuss in the book.
Oh, my stomach hurts so much.
Well, you know whose stomach is also hurting right now?
Snape, because he's worried he's a slut, apparently.
Neville is very nervous right now because he just had to share his deepest fear within classroom of his peers, a classroom of 13-year-olds, and he just told them his greatest fear, Can we talk about how fucked up that is for a second?
He probably has anxiety poops.
We are about to expose
I'll be back, guys.
an entire classroom's greatest fear in a physical form at a school of 13-year-olds, at a school of all teenagers.
Yeah, Harry was given so much shit for passing out because of the Azkaban guards. To stand up in front of your class and say, this is my greatest fear in life. No fucking thank you.
Yes.
I also
no way.
love that none of these kids have like weird
existential.
Yeah, right. Dying alone.
Yeah. Oh, look, my dead parents are in front of me. Let's make this funny.
Yeah. Like my greatest fear is everyone hating, like all of my friends leaving me.
Yeah.
Forever.
That was too real. I'm not going to say that. But yes. So to clarify what we're talking about.
My funeral after I die and everyone cheering.
Lupin. Yeah. Jesus. Yeah, Lupin is of the opinion that when the boggart comes out and sees Neville, it is going to change into Professor Snape. And what Professor Lupin wants to happen is he wants Neville to think very specifically about his grandmother's clothes. And when he says the word ridiculous, Snape is going to be wearing his grandma's clothes.
Right.
That is what the boggart is going to turn into.
Funny, he's going to not be as menacing, so then the boggart will, get fucked up. So Snape could say something funny like, I'm a little worried about being a slut.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I'm sure you'll have a lot of fun with that in post.
Getting clipped. Well, again, in what's clearly a just wonderful move, Professor Lupin has the class line up so they can take turns trying to ridiculous the boggart into oblivion.
I will say though, hey, real quick.
Yeah.
Neville does it fucking perfect first time.
Oh yeah. Oh yes. We're about to get to that.
Oh, okay. I thought we were skipping past it. So
Neville
I just wanted to make
100% nails it.
Yeah.
But yeah, right before the doors get opened, Harry, because of course Lupin says, think about your deepest fears. And Harry, of course, obviously thinks of Voldemort at first.
Yeah.
And then he remembers a very specific gray skeletal looking hand and how fucking creepy that is. And he thinks of the Dementors instead of Voldemort.
Yeah.
And he's pretty sure that boggart's going to turn into a Dementor.
Well, yeah, that's scarier because, I mean, Voldemort is like a idea at this point. He's seen Voldemort. Voldemort didn't really hurt him.
I was saying, he beat him. He beat him twice already. Exactly. 3 times already.
Yeah.
This is old hat. He's like, oh, that
vapor.
bad guy. Whatever.
Yeah.
But, you know who makes the Harry Potters faint? The Dementors.
Yeah. Who makes your stomach sink into your feet?
Yeah.
The Dementors.
The Dementors. Yeah. I feel like there's a song there.
I'm working on it.
So we open the wardrobe, and sure enough, boggart Snape steps out, and Neville's ridiculous charm works 100% on the first try, like you said. Snape immediately is wearing all of his grandma's wonderfully fashionable clothes. And then we kind of run through some of the class here. Parvati sees a blood-stained, bandaged mummy that gets tangled in its own bandages. And when we were listening to the chapter, as you said, Nate, this is the perfect Benny Hill scenario.
Oh, yeah, where they start playing the music. Yeah.
I think I would have loved to see Parvati's thing have red hair, though.
Oh, that would have been funny.
Because of the thing about the red-haired man. Yeah.
Oh.
It's fucking Ron all tied up. He's like, what the fuck, Parvati?
Ron.
Like, not fully. Like, it's starting to morph into that because of something that happened earlier this week.
That is funny.
And then she turns his dick tiny.
Oh, that's not in a PG
Ron
movie.
Would be scarred for the remainder of his school and probably rest of his life.
Look, honestly, we get a little bit of a physical description here, but I was surprised that this didn't get more of a note. But Seamus steps up and the boggart turns into a fucking banshee.
Yeah.
And I don't know if in my head, I just picture banshees as being much more terrifying than what the book placed importance on. Like, yeah, Voldemort is scary. Yeah, Dementors are scary. In my head, banshees are fucking terrifying.
Yeah, no, they are.
I mean, they're described as a woman with floor-length black hair and a skeletal green-tinged face. And of course, when he did the banshee, she lost her voice. But yeah, I picture him as like pretty fucking scary.
Well, Seamus saw the banshee.
Yes.
And I did not know this just a moment ago.
Yeah,
but
you
I
just did some Googling.
I just looked it up, and the origin of the Banshee, many believe that the tale of the Banshee evolved from the Irish custom of the lament in the 8th century. Women would sing a sorrowful song at funerals to grieve for the dead. This lament would be heard across the village, indicating that someone had passed away.
Interesting.
And then, that changed into, instead of them singing... Or no, a banshee is the female spirit. I don't know why I'm picturing like screaming or weird scary sounds.
That's what it's turned into.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, right there. Screaming, wailing, shrieking, or keening because somebody has just died.
Well, no, I was
so then
saying,
they're like, oh, that's the banshee. Somebody got somebody.
What it turned into was that the banshee predated the death. So if you see a banshee, that means a death is coming.
Oh,
so it got the shrieking and the wailing meant death was on its way.
See, and I it's like evolved because I was always under the impression that, and maybe that's from Harry Potter or some of the other books that I've read, that when they scream, if you hear that, you're dead.
That's kind of what I thought.
Yeah.
And I know that in another book series that we read, there is a creature that comes up at some point.
Oh.
That is very similar. And if her mouth is open, you can hear it. You're not doing too great.
I just want to throw in right quick that I'm looking at some of these pictures. Obviously, this is a audio medium, so you guys can't see this, but look up a picture of a banshee if you want.
Or don't.
Google.
You don't have to.
Yeah, you don't have to.
There's some scary ones.
I did not think a banshee was like a lady-like figure.
Oh.
I thought it was like an animal of some kind.
Oh.
So I'm very surprised by
I thought it
this.
was a not lady. Like, she's very skeletal. More like Tales from the Crypt, but with long hair.
Oh, okay.
We do hear right now from the description in the book that the Seamus's version of a banshee is a woman. Now, that's Harry Potter lore. Banshees look like women.
Right. And I mean, we're kind of assuming that because this is a boggart, that these things may not be... like, we're going to get to Ron's thing here in a second.
Specific.
Yes. Ron, gets the giant spider. Yes. Like, maybe it's not that big in real life, but that's the way Ron fucking saw it. So that's the way, you know what I mean?
Ron did see them in real life that big.
Well,
that's
I see
true.
what you're saying. Maybe Seamus is thinking of maybe a sexy, scary woman.
I mean, maybe.
Where normally banshees aren't sexy, but Seamus's deepest fear
probably
is a sexy banshee.
For no reason whatsoever. She's got her tits out, and Lupin's like, dude, what the hell? He's like, it's just scarier that way. Like, shut up. You know what you're doing.
The fear is the temptation.
Hot, though.
No, they got to be like 13 Ghosts tits, where they're like slashed up and not nice looking.
Right. I don't. Okay,
you know what I mean?
I would think like shriveled Grayson tits as opposed to like 13 Ghost tits.
You're not stopping this, Aaron. I'm sorry.
Bad. They're just a little sliced up.
Yeah, but that's the point. They're supposed to be scary in some way.
Yeah.
If they come out perfect.
We were different 13-year-olds if you thought those were terrible tits.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
This tea that I'm making is not for tits.
We've solved this.
This is for timeout. Like the boggart, we should shift to something else. And the boggart starts getting very confused by everyone and just starts randomly shifting to rats and rattlesnakes and single bloody eyeballs. And then Dean steps up and gets a severed hand. It crawls on the floor at people, but the severed hand gets trapped in a mousetrap. We get Ron, and of course a giant spider appears. It is noted that a lot of the class gets scared at this.
They don't like the giant spider.
Yeah.
I don't blame them.
Weird.
When Jade was in Arizona very recently, she got the chance to hold a tarantula.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Size of her fucking hand.
Yep.
And this is bigger than that.
This is much bigger than that. But I'm like, even that size, I don't fucking like spiders.
What's it going to do?
So you would go up after Ron and it would be the same thing, but much smaller.
It's not about what it can do.
Listen.
I know that a bite's not going to hurt me that much. It's more about that what we're talking about. It's bigger in your brain. That like if it gets out of my grip, it can wiggle around, and then who the fuck knows where it's gonna go? If it gets in my clothes, it's fucking stuck in there. I am not having that because I will get naked, Jade. I will get naked in public so fast.
Here's my thing. Okay,
and I can't risk that, so I just keep them away.
I'm more worried about small ones though, right? There's poisonous spiders, right? There's that.
Yeah, those are worse.
But like a big spider, right? If it crawls in my clothes, if I do a fireman roll on the ground, I'm probably gonna crush that bitch.
but you could feel it moving.
But I'm probably going to kill it. If it's a tiny spider, it can hide in a crevice.
Yeah,
but in your clothes.
Well, that's the thing, Jade. If it can
I am less scared of a hand-sized spider than I am of a tiny one.
But here's the thing. If it can make it into your clothes, it can make it into your skin. So when you roll around, it'll just be protected inside your skin. That's what he's talking about.
What are you talking about?
The spider can do things you don't know when you can't see it anymore.
Anyways,
I can put a nice.
This is full on crazy talk now. So
yeah,
leave
let me put a nice
on
cap on this. Jade is not necessarily afraid of bats. However, she does not like them being around because of one fear she has. She does not want them specifically,
Batman,
to get caught in her hair.
In my hair?
Oh yeah.
I don't think that's crazy though.
Statistically, the odds of a bat getting caught on your head
like zero.
are pretty close to zero.
If you're flying around the room, are you kidding? I think that's super logical.
But that's
when
what
they're
we're saying.
near you, you pay extra attention to those bats, don't you? It's the same thing for me with bugs and spiders. If I see a big spider like that, my whole body is instantly ready to spring away in some sort of, probably not as fast as I would like it to be, fashion.
It's easier to kill than a small one, is all I'm saying.
You're not wrong, but they're all scary.
Long story short, I couldn't have held the spider because I probably would have killed someone's pet, and I would have felt bad for doing
and you
that.
see where they are easier.
Yeah, but that's also why we don't go to Frederick Meyer Garden. I don't go in the butterfly room because I'll kill something. I will.
I've made him go in a couple times.
It's such
He's
a nice
fine.
room.
He's fine.
It's a beautiful room.
It's
I hate
so
it in
nice.
there. It's the worst.
I used to work there. I get to walk through it all the time.
Terrible.
Oh,
It's awesome. It's worth it. Get the membership. It's terrible.
Well,
Yeah.
one is able to remove the legs on the spider, so there you go.
Would that make you feel better if you specifically made a spider's legs disappear
No.
and it was rolling on the ground?
Still has mouth.
Okay. Well,
If we
Fair
turned the whole spider into, see, you couldn't even turn it into food because I don't want to eat it after it's been a spider.
Nate, I think what I'm gathering is you don't care for spiders.
I don't.
Okay.
I say ninja poof ball it, make it totally disappear, and then maybe we'll talk about
So you won't
lowering
let
this
me
blood pressure. I need pan flutes. What are we doing?
You won't let me get like a little enclosure for like a little jumping spider?
Look, I know we've already segued far enough, and some of this is bound to get cut, but I don't want to tell you what pets that you are allowed or not to, quote unquote, allowed own, right? But I will kill your pets.
They will die.
Yeah.
Under not that mysterious of
I see
circumstances.
people on the internet, they have real cute little enclosures for these little tiny spiders.
And you can pet them.
I don't
They
want,
name-
no.
they name
No,
them?
absolutely not.
And then they get all sad when they die.
Look, I don't hate people who love spiders and stuff like that. I know that they can have big personalities, much like rats do. But like, you know what? I don't fucking like them. I don't like bees either. And I'll kill those too when they're by me because they're bad. If they're little creepy, crawly, buzzy, or stingy, fuck those things.
If you got in front of a boggart, it'd probably be a spider.
It would.
Maybe a moth or a butterfly.
It would be a bug form, most likely.
A mutant bug.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're about to find out what Harry's boggart.
Giant wasp, maybe.
Spider with flat
Like
like wings.
A bus-sized
Oh, no.
wasp.
Oh, no.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. In a classroom with you. No, thank you.
Well, look, we're about to find out for sure what Harry's boggart would turn into when Lupin shouts here and runs forward and cuts in front of Harry. And the boggart turns into this silvery white orb in the air. And then Lupin says, "Ridikulus." Neville steps in front at Lupin's request, and he finishes the boggart off. When it turns into Snape again, he makes it wear his grandmother's clothes, and he laughs at it. And my question to you guys is, did we just witness a murder? Are boggarts considered sentient? Was this like killing a Grindylow or a mermaid or any of that stuff?
I don't think so.
You don't think so? You think this boggart is equivalent to like a mouse?
Like, I don't know that I would be personally okay with like murder, but I mean, I don't know how else you would deal with it or if they have like a natural habitat. But I guess my thinking is you can't speak to it, because if you could speak to it, then somebody would have spoken to it and we would know what they look like when nobody's around.
Oh,
you know
that's
what
a
I
good
mean?
point.
Like,
yeah.
or maybe it is sentient and we just haven't figured out its language and the wizards are assholes. I don't know.
It's just trying to say, excuse me, sir. How do I get out of here? Excuse me. I'm trapped in your fucking wardrobe here.
I seem to have fallen out of my deep, dark space. I would like to get back to it. Could you point me into... Ow.
This is my protection. I'm scaring you.
Yeah.
Just please go away.
It's afraid.
Yeah.
And its defense mechanism is to turn into whatever you think is scary, so you leave it alone.
Yeah.
All it really wants is to be left alone.
This thing does not get left alone. It explodes and bursts into 1,000 tiny wisps of smoke and disappears.
Good, because
Forever.
it was a spider, and that would be the appropriate way to handle a spider.
If your boggart turned into a spider, you would have got points for dealing with it, because Lupin just starts handing points out like they're free.
Hell
And it's just like, hey, you did good in class. 5 points for every individual. I'm loving Lupin.
Specifically gives points to Harry.
And Hermione. Even though neither of them took a turn at the boggart.
Did anything.
They did answer his questions, though.
I think it was convenient that both of them had answered questions.
Yes.
I think it was also convenient that Hermione did not get to take a go at the boggart.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that was... It was only him trying to stop Harry.
Yeah, but yeah. Okay, so here's the thing. Had Hermione been ahead of Harry in the line, Hermione would have gotten a chance.
I think so.
But since Harry was next, that's when Lupin stepped in and went, oh, shit, nope, we got to shut down whatever this is going to be.
And I can't single him out, so I got to do it that way. And I think also, in that scenario, maybe Hermione would have gotten double points, and he still would have, to not make it obvious that he was giving Harry Potter pity points.
Yeah. Yeah. He could have said 5 points for each successful boggart ridiculous it did, and then 5 points for each correct answer question. But again, I'm spending my study hours with Lupin if he's just going to hand points out like this.
Well, yeah. Oh, 100%.
I'm guaranteeing House Cup if I've got Lupin as a professor.
I think that's the play no matter what, because McGonagall's kind of strict with it.
Yeah, she don't hand them out to her own students.
And we know that Snape is overly generous and
Draco
really
is
aggressive
probably
with the other people.
Yeah, Draco is probably a top point getter for Slytherin.
Which is probably why Dumbledore has been putting his toe on the scale for Gryffindor for the last couple of years, because he's allowed Snape to be a little dickball.
And counterbalancing Snape, finally.
Yes, he let Snape go for a while, and now he's like, no, now I'm going to put my foot on the scale.
Yeah, he's like, go ahead and try and tip the scale towards Slytherin, because at the end of the day, good will win out. I've been keeping tabs on your little cheaty McFace, and every single point that we've ever questioned Harry or Hermione or Ron been given in any one of these books, it comes from Snape cheating now in the back of my head. 1,000 points for you, Harry. He's like, what did I do? He's like, I don't know. Just chalk it up to something. Did you make your bed today? That.
It's less of
Good job, buddy.
less of what you did and more of what you didn't do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, look, the class is done. We are leaving, and both Harry and Hermione are kind of questioning it. Like, hey, how come we didn't go? But Ron asked Hermione, like, what do you think it would have turned into if you would have gone? Was it a piece of homework that only gets 9 out of 10? Would that be Hermione's greatest fear? Apparently, according to Ron.
I kind of like to think that Hermione's greatest fear would be the equivalent to the C+ scene in A Christmas Story, where he gets his fucking paper back and he's like, C+?
She's about to be like, if I just get an A, I graduated, I go straight to my whatever job.
Yeah, it's done, man. You're good.
And what gets handed back is an A-. And
then the head starts to spin around her and laugh and the whole bit.
But I think what it should be is being like, hey, you know what? You are expelled from school and we're snapping your wand until you don't have access to any of this education anymore. You've learned about a secondary world, so you can double study. You can study all the stuff that you would have been studying as a muggle, and you can study over here, which is what she would like. But now, you're regulated to just muggle shit. She would hate that.
So I realized that earlier I said that I feel like it's a bad idea to like put people's worst fear like out there. Because I'm going to ask something, and I'll round it out. Non-existential. I'm curious. What do we all think, or what do you all think your boggarts would turn into? Pretty sure yours would be a mutant insect of some kind.
Just something sharp and pointy and snappy and slimy and gross.
So like Mothra from the new Godzilla movies, where she's the size of skyscrapers. and has a stinger.
Look, if you had even an average dog-sized wasp, I would be so paralyzed with fear.
I think I would be too. I mean,
would.
that sounds terrifying.
But that exactly, right? Exactly. I fear that more than anything else on the planet. I climbed up a mountain in Scotland, and I'm terrified of heights, and saw sights that I never thought I would see in my entire life, and I got super fucking woozy because that's a long ways up there.
Oh yeah.
But a dog-sized wasp,
You'll run up a mountain.
it moves quickly. It can fly.
Oh.
Yeah. Sharp little pointy stingers, and you're locked in a room with it. I would shit myself and just die immediately. No scream, too scared.
I feel like mine is just a ghost of some kind. I mean, this kind of borders on the existential part, but it's like, I have no chance.
Against a ghost?
Something physical? You're telling me there's a chance.
Because you can hit it.
I can
you can
find,
attack it.
I can figure out a
Yeah.
nut shot. I can poke its eyeballs out. I might have a chance if it's tangible. Fucking see-through bullshit? Yeah, I'm out. I can't do that.
You need goggles in a special room. And once again, we are back to 13 ghosts.
I was thinking Luigi's Mansion. Two very different scenarios.
Yeah.
I need a vacuum that sucks ghosts.
That's a lot of jumping, though, too.
Oh, yeah. I got a bad knee.
Yeah.
Would you like to share? You don't have to. This is an optional.
Other than the list of existential things.
That's yeah. What's the fun, scary things?
Waking up tomorrow.
It would be like something coming at me in a dark area.
Oh, yeah.
Specifically, a basement when I have to turn off the lights and run up the stairs.
Yeah.
Especially if those old school stairs that don't have the backing. I imagine something reach you. And the thing is, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The thing doesn't matter. It could be human. It could be a creature. It could be something clicky, weird. It could be literally a mouse. It could be anything. Anything coming at me in the dark.
Yeah.
Is a bad news bears for me. I don't like.
Which is a little, I mean, it's not funny. I'm not laughing at your fear.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little funny to me sometimes because, one, I can tell when you're finished in the basement and all your business is done. Now we have smart lights. So now it doesn't matter so much.
Much
the
nicer.
lights can stay on.
Yeah.
But when
Voice
we didn't
commands.
have them, if Jade was done in the basement instead of just regular going up the stairs, it'd be like boom, 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 all the way up because she was just trying to get up quick.
Quick workout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The second thing that's a little funny is that now we have a tiny little furry creature that is pitch black and loves to follow when we run upstairs. And so in the middle of the night, going up the stairs, there is kind of a little possibility that a little small creepy crawly is going to come up fast up the stairs at you. Yeah.
Grabs your Achilles.
Yeah. And when the lights are low in the middle of the night, a cat is a terrifying thing to like discover.
I forgot. Ghost is not it for me. Thalassophobia. A fear of unknown ocean and giant objects in the ocean.
The dark, deep ocean.
Yeah, but like shipwrecks.
Yeah.
Like shipwrecks kind of freak me out. They're too big. They're in the water. You can't see the whole thing at once because it's too dark usually.
Oh,
Titanic.
okay. I understand. Yeah. I get that.
There's like pictures on the internet where
Would you go on like a Carnival cruise?
I don't know.
Interesting.
I would not dive. I will never deep sea dive. Never in my life will I deep sea dive.
I know we're getting a little off, like way off, but like in Florida, we got off a boat on some sandbar way offshore in the Gulf of Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were just looking for sand dollars. And then the guy who was driving the boat was like, hey, make sure you don't like grab a stingray or something because like it's going to be a while till we get back to shore if you get hurt. And we are in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah.
And it was still like a foot to 8 inches deep. Exactly where we were.
No, none of that.
So that
is fine. I'm talking about when you can't see the bottom.
Yeah, but we couldn't there could be a shark 10 feet away.
There was
fine.
deep water in between us and shore.
Yeah.
I would have been fine at that place. As soon as we drive over the deep
the deep part, then it's underneath you.
Yes.
Yeah. Like a fucking kaiju eating a Carnival cruise or something. That's what I thought you meant.
To me, the perfect summary of it is there's pictures you could find where it's like it's not clear water. and it's a stairwell going down into the water, and you see from the dock, you just see the stairs disappear. That's it. I don't like that. Because I do think it's a limiting movement thing.
The awareness of the large space that you're actually in, and the possibility of something much larger than you being in there.
And I don't like not having full control of my movement.
Listen,
I get that. I get that.
That's it for me.
I think it's also something along those lines, though, is why I'm not a super big fan. I live in Michigan. It's kind of crazy. I'm not a super big fan of swimming in lakes or ponds that are not
little backyard ponds.
Because if you can't see into the water, I don't know what's in your water.
No idea to know what's in it.
And I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
If you wanted to let us know what your worst fear is, so we can totally not hold it against you or blackmail you at a later date to join our Patreon, you could do that by picking up a quill and writing out a scroll to podcast ATT.
Parchment.
That's a weird sound.
That's what quills sound like.
You can use your quill on parchment, which weirdly sounds like a zipper, and send a scroll to podcastatt@gmail.com, or you can follow us on our social medias over on Facebook. If you enjoyed this episode and you wanted to support this show, you can go to patreon.com/podcastatt and join a tier of your choosing. You pick any one. That's up to you.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Also, thank you.
If you haven't made up your mind to do that yet, you can always like and subscribe to this podcast and leave us a 5-star rating. It helps other people find this show. It makes us feel good.
You can also bitch on a 5-star.
We read every 5-star, so if you want us to read it, you got to leave 5.
Yeah, that's the deal.
Yeah.
We won't look otherwise.
Nope. Out of sight, out of mind.
Well, thank you all very, very much to listening to all of this. I apologize for the last 20 minutes or so.
Hell, they got to stay in. Ha ha ha.
And we'll see you real soon.
Bye, everyone. I love you so much.
Oh, is it time to leave? Everyone's leaving.
I'm getting a real Hello Clarice vibe from you. You know who you sound? You sound like Jim Carrey doing Hannibal Lecter in Cable Guy, the movie you admitted to me last week that you've never seen.
I'm trying to stay
in character.
In character.
It's not working.
That's the new Snape. That's the new Snape. We got him.
Cut, print. That's the end.
Goodbye.